So that's a helpful thing about this. But yeah, maybe.
I mean, the way I think
Okay.
of it is, for my own podcast idea that
Mhm.
I have,
Yeah.
kind of floating around my mind, like not knowing in the beginning exactly how it's going to turn out,
Yeah.
and being okay with that.
Yeah. No, 100%. A lot of it is just.
Like directionally, this is kind of where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you'll fill it out as you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So they
I think
said.
people, I think sort of your audience will appreciate that journey.
yeah.
And being sort of-
Yes, 100%. And that's part of why I wanted to be so insistent on getting it done
Just
today.
getting it done.
That's
Get
why I
some
was
number out
like,
there.
messaging you, or when I was talking to you, and when we were all together. By the way, guys, we have the incredible Fonz right here. You guys can't see him
Off cam.
off cam. He's this.
Prolific human being.
He is a
Amazing person that we know.
silver fox. When I first saw him, I was like, dude, you look like a movie star, like you.
Yeah, you do have a.
Like the older actor.
It's the
that's-
testosterone tint to his skin. I think that's
That's what I
it
thought.
is.
So I didn't want to
It's
say
a
that.
tint to his skin that I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
fucking guy.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I think the cool thing about gyms in general is that you'll always have like a gym OG. And I think becoming that gym OG, he probably doesn't even know he's a gym OG.
That's
you know,
true. That's
it's
true.
like it's just bestowed upon you.
Yeah,
you become
yeah.
uncle one day.
yeah.
You wake up, you're doing a bench. Somebody's like, "Whoa, Mister," and you're like, "Mister." Like, oh, I guess I am Mister. You know.
Yeah, that's so funny, bro. Okay, so cool. My name is Rob. This is the DC 100 podcast. You got to check out any of my content online. Rob D Model. That's where my YouTube is. That's where my Instagram is, and where I'll be posting a lot of stuff. Today I have my good friend Jas. I met Jas at, I think, where did we meet? I
the
I
gym.
lived in that apartment, and then Jas lived in the same apartment. So he moved out, I moved in.
Yeah, then you moved into my exact unit. We met at the gym, that like black and red gym that was across the street from our.
Yeah, that apartment gym, right?
The Edge building. Oh, we were living in the Edge.
The Edge, yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't give up too much information.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we were living. It was like a typical Austin, Texas, kind of living situation. There's like one building with some stupid name that they all kind of share.
Yeah.
River Oaks at Domain.
I think it was
the
the
bullshit. Yeah, for us it was gallery.
Yeah.
But it was 3 buildings. We were in the newest one, which was the Edge. But we were working out in the gym in the other building. I forgot the name of that one, but
It was a nice gym too.
Parkside. Yeah, it was real nice.
That was
yeah,
a nice
for
gym.
an
That was-
apartment gym.
That's what sold me on it, honestly.
Same here.
I was like, hey,
Yeah.
this gym's really nice, actually.
For real, yeah, same here. So I moved in 2018 then. So like back then, these other buildings weren't here. Like Austin blew up in the last few years. But yeah, we met over there. You were benching. I was benching. We got to work, and then I think you were living in a different
I think
apartment
I
unit.
think you were benching like 405 or something. You're in your 8th rep, and I was like, do you need a spot? And
you
you're
know,
like,
and I was like, no, I got this.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
just one arm.
Yeah,
in
and
it.
you start curling it. I was like,
and then it was crazy.
Yeah.
3 chicks walked up, and I was like,
Dude,
"See you later, pal."
I know, right? And then I was like, dude, how? And then I sat on the bench, and then this aura like
Just
formed
culminated.
around me, and then suddenly I was like, I wanted to give it a try.
Yeah,
I threw another plate on there, 495, bench it no problem, and then just all these Valkyries just come out of nowhere, and then they just like
there you go.
just swass me away. I was
Wow, look at that, man. So yeah, and
So thank you
It's just
for
been
that,
up
by
from
the way.
there.
It
You
has.
know?
It has.
That was our floor.
That's right.
And
That
now
was
we're
the
just
floor.
getting better
I didn't
and better.
realize. I didn't realize my entire life before then was underground.
Mm-hmm.
And that was me breaching like a bamboo shoot.
Right. And here we are in some ghetto neighborhood in East Austin. You know what happened? You know,
What-
I thought it was up from here.
I know.
I thought we'd be on the west side somewhere,
lied to
by
me.
some water. Here I am, some scary ass, area.
Dude, I thought it's so funny when I hear people talk about any part of Austin about being scary. It's
Such
and
a
obviously it's contextual. You know what I mean? It's if you grew up in the suburbs, your idea of scary could be like a kind of alleyway with some cigarettes on it, right?
Right,
Versus
right.
someone who grew up like near Section
City
8 or like
environment, yeah.
slums. It's like, no, scary for us is like, it's like there's a dead body.
A
Someone
body,
just got
some
killed.
body that's just
Yeah.
rotting away.
You know,
to,
and it's
to
like-
them, it's like what 1, 2, 3 black people.
Whoa,
Ah,
there's a lot of
alright.
melanation over
All
here.
right, well,
Yeah, it's like-
just give them that look, like when you walk by somebody and they give you that look like that.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see
it's-
people talk about that all the time.
I
It's
get
like,
some of those also
when you,
myself.
yeah, I
I'm
get,
not even,
I get a lot of that when I'm walking, especially in
not
the
scary
domain.
looking.
People go,
in the domain.
yeah, they
Oh,
like
yeah?
in the
Gosh,
domain. They go,
that look. There you go.
and I'm like,
I bet you miss it though, right? Like I miss living out there.
I do. I think I want to get another unit either in the domain, or maybe downtown. And I think me and you talked about that.
Yeah,
Getting a place downtown. I want to do that.
yeah. I think people And I would say our age bracket, but even that doesn't work anymore because we even have the other friend, the one that we're talking about that wants to move to Seaholm District, or we're like telling him to.
Right.
Yeah, I think that there's in general, I think just being, it's not an age thing, but if you're somebody that like likes to have, the energy of ideas flowing and all that stuff and just being around people and all that, no matter what age you are, I think you should be living somewhere where there's like a lot of people by you, where there's just energy flowing.
100%.
I think, I think now, maybe even if we had this conversation even like 5-6 years ago, people didn't really catch up to that. I think global consciousness is kind of waking up to a lot of things now, and frequencies and vibrations very real. So I feel like people are kind of slowly opening up to that. So like just living somewhere where there's good energy and things are in motion, I think that's important. Domain being one of them.
I agree 100%. Actually, I think that I recently got into meditation, and I do have some topics that I want to cover.
Because that was a good point what he said, also to kind of set the stage, so to speak.
Yeah, which is I want to cover. I just want to speak on this real quickly. Like I started meditating maybe 8 months ago, maybe 9 months ago. At this 8 months ago, I started meditating about 8 months ago because I wanted to get out of body. That was like my whole thing. But why I bring that up now is because you say that the consciousness is rising and whatnot, and I feel like I was exposed to these things, but because I was not on that wavelength, I didn't resonate with it. There's plenty of times I see people working out, playing games or whatever, but because I wasn't operating at wavelength, I didn't have any resonance or any attraction to it. And now when I started meditating and I had my first out-of-body experience, like all that stuff now just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Love it.
And it's the only thing I can think about. It's the only thing I focus on. It's what I pursue.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you can discover a lot about yourself
Big time.
through that. So I agree with you that I believe that energetics, one or two things happen. Either the energetics overall are just rising, or I'm just become more sensitive to it, so I pay more attention now, or a combination of both. I think it's probably a combination of both, to be honest.
Yeah, as I think most things are, but that's dope. I've also been paying attention to like, how to switch my antenna a little bit, how to strengthen it. I feel like when your antenna is switched or just strengthened, then you're like more, to what you said, you kind of like things that maybe already exist around you just kind of make more sense now.
Yeah.
It's just like you have that antenna to kind of, be a beacon for that information to come to you. Whereas before, like it's like when you discover a word and then it pops up that week and you're like, oh, but maybe it was there the whole time, but you just would have glanced over it before you knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Although things like that happen a lot, and I feel like a lot of people talk about that. There's so many like Mandela effects, all this like stuff that's happening. Now I'm like, before I used to just blame it all like, oh, it's just coincidence. Now I'm realizing that a lot of our world, there's a lot to it that just doesn't make too much sense. It's a lot about like, even the quantum stuff that we're talking about. It's
I
like,
think it doesn't.
You thinking about it makes it happen.
I agree with that, and I think that it's not that it doesn't make sense; it's that we just don't understand. I think the universe makes perfect sense. It's just beyond that of your understanding,
for sure to
right?
us, yeah, to our little dumb monkey brain.
Yeah, right. If you only think about the universe in 5 senses, then a lot of things don't make sense. Like if I only think about heat in the form of light, and then someone turns on a heater, and I'm in a room and I'm next to that heater, and it's like burning my skin, but there's no light. This doesn't make sense. How is it burning my skin? There's no light source. It's like because I'm thinking in one dimension or one sense in this particular analogy. However, it can manifest in ways that are beyond my perception. And so when things don't make sense, I think it's just you're using limited tools. It's not that it doesn't make sense. It's just that you do not understand. And I think it's an opportunity, in fact, to delve within yourself to gain that understanding. Because once you gain that understanding, I believe you gain more direction and more understanding about your environment. And the more you understand your environment, the more likely you are to influence it to produce outcomes that are favorable for you. And something else that you said, which was these coincidences. I used to think coincidences too, but now I realize that coincidence is just a word that you use to describe when you don't understand how things came to be. Oh, must have been a coincidence. Such as luck or miracles. You're just using this as a filler to describe the thing that you just don't get how it came to be that way. However, in my studies and in my meditation, I've begun to realize that there is no such thing as miracles. There's no such thing as coincidences. Like all of these things have some pathway that you can follow, but that pathway may require you to use the senses that are not local. And so, yeah, I kind of got into a little bit of thing there, but I'll use this opportunity to also pose a question, and I would love to hear your feedback on it, which I quickly curated these.
Sure, awesome. My boy looking jacked too, huh? Right? Some good downlighting over here, right?
Bro, dude.
Shout out to my boy out there, right? I'm like, damn, my boy's asking me some questions. I was like, yo, this guy's about to beat me up any second. His veins coming out. I was like,
Oh,
I was meditating the other day.
Wait. So that's you meditate, huh? You don't meditate.
You put a meditate right now. You gotta get out your body.
Hey, I'll help you go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll help you get out your body right now.
Oh,
you ever been knocked out before? Yo, fine, tell me out, man.
I'm like, yo, all right, I'll go to sleep. I'll lay down. Like, whoa, calm down, man. Dude, okay, Fonz. There was this, and I kind of want to get Fonz on camera. I want you to come, you at some point you'll come over here. But I met that guy. Fonz had this dude that he brought to the gym that he didn't bring to the gym. That was there. He just knew him.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, Michael or something. Chris. Okay.
Oh.
So
the Chris we know, the one that you. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how would you describe that guy's energy?
Interesting. You asked me that question. All I know is that your take on it is different than his take on it. Because when I brought this up to him, I didn't get the answer I was expecting from him either.
Really?
Remember when I brought somebody up, somebody that was part of our gym community? You know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I brought him up to you, and I was like, interesting guy. And you're like, he is an interesting guy.
Oh.
And then we kind of just left it at that.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
so,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
This guy's also like a little like, he is, his default is that he's a nice guy. That's all that matters to me now. But yeah, definitely, little like school shooterish, No, but like, no. I'm just kind of just joking. But definitely teetering the line of like, like when we were kids, he was definitely a kid that was like stuck on his Game Boy all day and like, but he like what matters to me most is that he's nice, kind of. I was telling him he's like very quiet, but then he's like, no, he's not. And I guess when you get to know people, they like open up a lot more and stuff. So
wait, okay, so. Okay, because it's like I agree with your quiet take, but also I'm a very talkative person,
Yeah.
So it's like unless you're similar to me, I'm gonna think you're quiet,
big time.
And then Fonz, dude, you had me feeling like Fonz had me like feeling extra cool. He's like, hey, I don't know what it is, but you're ready, man. You're ready for it.
For what? In general.
That's just how he was like. Versus Fonz was telling me.
Love it, man.
And I was just like,
feeling yourself.
Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's like, you're ready for the fight.
I mean, hey, I don't know which direction you want to take this conversation, but talking about being ready for a fight is very, it's very topical, I'd say, because we're in, no matter what you do, just staying alive today
is a fight.
To fight.
It's constantly.
And it's like, it's kind of like what we were talking about before. Like, I prefer a physical fight. None of these fights are fucking physical.
I know. At least the physical, I know where my enemy is.
Right.
Like he's right here in front of me.
I
know
what
give
him back. I know he's right there. He moves in a organic fashion.
Yeah.
But the way that these, the way that these like spirits of today kind of like fight, it's just it's almost impossible to kind of like keep your head above water. But yeah, it's good. It's a nice thing for him to say that about you. Like, you're ready for the fight. Just, I think right now, everyone's so demotivated, especially with what's happening and the larger political climate and stuff like that. It's very demotivational. So being ready for a fight's good.
I mean, dude, I think that, again, like even, it's like where you look at. It's like what direction of, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's always good and bad stuff happening. And so it's like, what do you filter your vision for? And I believe that filtering your vision for things that are not inspiring will lead you to feel depressed.
Yeah, but I even though I agree, it's so like, I remember my boy Joshua, he said something. My mom looked at me afterwards like, the fuck's your friend saying? Like, it was 2020, I think maybe like summer 2020, where we go back home to New York City, and he's sitting on my couch. I was like, bro, it's like COVID changed everything for us. He's like, I don't know, my life's still the same. I'm still taking the flights and I'm still doing this, that. And I'm like, to be oblivious to the fact the whole world is this way. All right, it's great. Like, I'm not comparing his short-sightedness with what you're saying, but I'm saying more. It's like, you know, it's more than just like. Of course, you have to rise above the tides. You have to, but I will always empathize with people that cannot, because there's so many things working against people, and to kind of just pretend like that's not a very, very large issue that will hold people down. That's just I feel like that's not putting enough emphasis on how bad things could be. So, and the reason why I make that comparison is like, he was like, oh, my life didn't change much. I'm still taking flights. I'm still doing this. I'm barely wearing the mask. This is like summer 2020. I'm like, bro, like that could be the case. Good for you. I want to do that too. I also take flights. I do whatever the fuck I want also. But we also can't deny that the world is changing a little bit. It's like, there's things that you have to kind of consider, that you have to like teeter the lines kind of, carefully, or you'll go crazy.
I don't. Okay, so this is what I'll say with that. I believe that, yes, the world is in a constant state of change. If there's anything that you want to rely on, it's the world changing. It's things changing. It's forever changing. But one thing that I want to say is admirable to look at to me is that, hey, gym memberships are changing, prices are changing. It's harder to go to the gym. It's like, yeah, it is, and I'm still going. Absolutely.
Resilience, yeah.
Oh yeah, the price did change. Oh, this gym shut down. Yeah, you're right, it did. I'm training outside. Yeah. Does that mean that the people that couldn't afford the gym membership, that I shouldn't feel bad for them? Or me doing that behavior is me not feeling bad for them? I don't think so. I think what I'm doing is I am deciding that in these circumstances, this is how I'm going to show up. And me showing up in these circumstances is not putting anyone who didn't show up down.
Yeah, right.
Right? I can stand firm and like, oh man, the world's changing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, sure, the world's changing, but I'm not. I'm staying, or rather, I'm changing with it.
Yeah, you're adapting with it.
The way I got that result, it's changed on how I get it, but I'm still getting the result.
Yeah,
and so,
sure. Yeah.
So I believe that those people, because I understand the empathetic side, and I understand understanding. But if we sit here and I understand your problems, and I understand why it's hard, am I justifying why you stay there or why you're not successful?
Yeah, it's kind of like you're just kind of joining them in this kind of like,
in this kind of like
negativity circle. Yeah, I get that part too. That's the part you gotta like. It's so hard to kind of like teeter those lines, because you want to be for be there for those people, but then you also need to hold that accountability to yourself, where you're like, I'm not gonna let this shit keep me down.
I think
so.
It's like quicksand, right?
It's like quicksand.
Yeah.
Man.
You live in that,
You get pulled into it. The reason why I bring it up is like, I think about the issues of the last few years, and it just seems so much smaller than it is now. Where now, I mean, markets are reacting. When markets react, it's a big fucking problem, because now you're messing with my accounts, now you're messing with all the accounts of everyone else as well. So I know that we're in like a kind of gray swan event, and the reason why I say that is like, you take 2020, where the problems that people had is like that. All right, sure, you can't leave your house or this and that. Terrible, global, disease, if you could even call it that. And a lot of issues, political turmoil, all that stuff. That to me, I felt like, wow, the world's gonna end, but people still kind of kept it together. 2021, 2, 3 was kind of okay. Markets weren't doing so well because of things like interest rates, like the most boomer problem ever. Who cares? Things are still okay. 2024, it's okay. 2025, things start getting a little messed up. 2026, things are terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just, when we're talking about global consciousness and all that stuff, you kind of feel it's like a gauge of like negativity around the world. And right now, my gauge is pretty high up, especially in comparison to the previous years. So
when you're saying these things about looking at all these political events and all these things and all these things that can attribute to, that can validate a negative perspective, because that's just, to me, when you're saying that, it's like the validation for this way of thinking or this justifying this thing. And I think you can justify anything that you want to justify. my thought or question then comes to be, I can justify anything. I really can. You know,
You
that's
can always justify anything. Yeah.
right. So it's
Confirmation bias is what
right.
we
So
do,
it's
yeah.
like when you're saying these things, to me, I just go back to a conversation that me and Fonz were having right before here, which is one of the topics. And let me have a look-see here, just as a reminder for myself.
And all I was saying, like, yeah, you could.
Mhm.
There's confirmation bias anywhere, but like, there's a level of like that's why I said markets react. You know, it's just like there's levels to it. You know, I mean, no matter what, you always have to have the like, no matter what the external event is, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna make sure I come out on top for sure. And that I'm glad that, you know, I see like most gym goers who are perennial gym goers, not to be like a gym bro, like fitness bro, but like there's a reason why these people tend to do pretty well in life. And it's
Mhm.
because you're overcoming battles every day.
Mm.
You know, all I'm saying though is that I recognize today's battle, you know, our homeostasis, we're able to take a level of shit that other people cannot take.
Mhm.
I'm dealing with a bunch of shit right now. You know, I got things to pay for. I got, you know, aging parents I'm buying shit for, doing stuff like this, you know? But I know I'm gonna get through. I just know it's gonna be a pain in the ass, you know?
Mhm.
But I couldn't imagine some other people who I know who are my friends, like dealing with this. You know, some of them like are dealing with, you know, granted it's like all relative, but like,
That's to say, yeah. Does it even matter?
right, does what matter?
Does it even matter if someone could deal with what you're dealing with or not? Like, what's the significance in someone else being able to or not being able to deal with what you're dealing with? What's the significance of that to you?
Uh, trying to,
Because you mentioned what you're dealing with, which is taking care of your parents, taking care of this, all this,
yeah.
right? And then you said, and I'm thinking about some of my friends or whatever people I know that wouldn't be able to deal. What's the significance of that? Why does it matter?
I mean, it matters for sure, but it's more like.
But why? What's the significance in saying you know?
I mean, we were talking just before about how, you know, no matter what, you're gonna adapt with things and stuff like that. I'm saying that my ability to adapt is pretty high compared to the.
But compared, right? Okay, so
Compared to
that's
the
what-
average person, which is what you do. I mean, comparison is the way to kind of.
Well,
like,
what I'm asking you is, why do you feel what? Are you comparing yourself to gauge yourself in a way of saying like,
oh, I'm not a complete piece of shit. I got it going. I'm doing all right.
Oh, okay. So you're comparing yourself in a sense of say like, oh, okay, these are hard challenges that if it would put on someone else, it would break them. But you know, because I'm surviving this challenge, then
Little feather in my cap.
yeah, okay.
I go to sleep like
okay.
a baby. Wake up like time to be a bad motherfucker again.
Okay,
you know?
okay,
Even though
okay.
it's tough, you're going through it right now,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you're gonna get through it.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by that. So it's like,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks for clarifying
Mhm.
because I didn't understand. I was trying to
Yeah.
see what you were.
Yeah, and I'm not, you know, I'm comparing people's problems. I'm just saying it's just like, you know, it just it's good whether people admit to it or not. We all compare, and if you're doing it out of a negative thing where it's just like, oh, this person doesn't deserve to have this, I deserve to have this. Like, all right, plenty of people are like that. Corporate America's like that, you know, all over. And there's some people who are making, you know, more money than I am or have this position better than me. That doesn't affect me. It's just more like. Because, you know, there's a million things that you could probably have that this person doesn't have. You know, I know so many VPs that look like they're going to have a fucking heart attack or a stroke because they're like in terrible shape, but they make $230K. You know, back when I was making 160, and I'm like, I could do this person's job. But, you know, there's going to come a time where they would hope that they had better health, where I don't have to, you know, hopefully, God willing, I feel like I don't have to worry about that in comparison to the same level, you know, that they have. So there's always comparisons that you can make. I'm just saying for, you know, for myself, I know that I'm like, oh, okay, like I have these issues, but I know that I'm doing all right in, you know, relative to the average person or something like that, you know, because so that's what I look at. And I think it's
So you
important
use
to
it
have
as a
reflection.
tool. Use it as a tool to like a hey, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's
tool.
not so bad. Exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
You know, you're
It
using
could be
it as a-
worse. You know. It could be worse, yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like,
that could be helpful, and I could see someone using that in a helpful manner.
Yeah.
One thing that you brought up that is what was a topic that we were discussing. or one of the topics I want to discuss was about personal agency. And
huge. Yeah, it's everything, I think.
Yeah. And Fonz had a really good point that he was saying earlier, and I kind of want Fonz to speak on it. I want to like sub you guys real quick. Here, would you be okay speaking on what you're saying with personal agency, or we can get you next time too? Like I want you like on like right here.
Oh, you want?
Yeah. Would you be cool with that?
Yeah, no, I'll just jump in here.
Well, you're the audio.
Oh, the audio?
Yeah. Like you would need to.
This poor guy messed his knees up.
Yeah, it's good for my
Fonz has
knees.
great knees. He has great knees. I think he would be in this camera. So no, he'd probably be. Hey, Rich, right? Ray. Okay. Hey, Ray, is he in the? What's his angle looking like over here? Okay, he's in the wide. He's not in the close up over here.
Oh, wide's right there. I didn't even know that there's one. I can get up.
Yeah.
No. Stay right there. It's more comfortable for me.
Okay. All right. This
So,
is
I-
you're hitting legs a lot, so I guess this is
Yeah. I can do
Okay.
this for a few minutes.
okay. All right. That's all you need.
But I think what we were talking about is agency, like you queued up. Right?
Yeah, personal agency.
Personal agency, and kind of to what extent do you use agency or the belief in oneself to get things done,
Yes.
to achieve goals, to not live in a world of excuses. So we use the example of being responsible for the weather,
Yeah.
right? So being kind of almost in a way to the average person, being a little ridiculous
Right.
about it.
And I thought this was a good point, by the way. I when he's like, "Yeah, I think it's my fault for the weather." I was like, "Dude, exactly." And I immediately can justify being responsible for weather because I chose to live I chose to live here in Texas,
Oh, that's what you guys mean.
right?
Well-
I mean, and there's literally weather manipulation devices and cloud seeding devices. I didn't invest in that technology. You know, I like
Shout out to Hart.
right.
I used to work for.
No disclosing your confidential, top secret stuff, Jazz. But yeah, but even if you couldn't control the weather through technologies, et cetera, it's just thinking that big.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So even if the weather doesn't change according to your wishes, being responsible for it just shows how big of a game you're playing.
See,
Right.
So wait, so does that mean that like
Y'all have to switch the audios back and forth.
okay, so if it's raining and you bring an umbrella with you or you dress for the rain, is that what that means? Like no matter what it is, I'm gonna adapt, or is it like it's raining today because I said so? Like,
Right.
oh, I see.
It's more because I said so.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
I'm taking charge of. But
Ah.
right, the way I see it is you are being somewhat, in a way, ridiculous, for the lack of a better word, in you're taking ownership of
something that's so grandiose,
right.
But then the people
Ridiculous
that tend to do
too.
The weather is really up. Let's just
Let's just say
in-
if it's up to
historically at least, weather is sort of the domain of the gods, right?
Ah, beautiful.
But
yeah.
if you're going to play on the level of the gods,
Then you
right,
better-
of a,
yeah, that's
of a
very
Greek
true.
god controlling
Yeah.
the weather, then it just shows that you're accepting anything and everything that comes your way.
Beautiful.
Right?
I like that.
So even if you fail, you're failing on a different level,
Mm.
as opposed to saying, I can't play in this game because my shoes aren't tied. Or something like that.
So funny you said that because I for some reason was thinking of shoes being
Shoes?
tied. Yeah, like shoes being tied or untied. And then
Yeah,
you said that.
great
That's so
minds
funny.
think alike and,
Yeah.
Ideas.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for
Oh my
thanks for that.
goodness.
People don't have ideas. Ideas have.
We
people.
flew here on his private jet, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's parked right outside.
Yeah.
Got a baddie.
Yeah.
Baddie
Yeah.
pilot.
He like flew here on his jet, then he like got taken back in the Escalade, and then came back in a helicopter, so he can have both his
Not
flying.
at all.
Yeah, he wanted both his jet and his helicopter
Yeah,
here.
he's hosting a climate event too next week just to talk about our carbon emissions. By the way.
Yeah. Because he actually controls the weather. Actually.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that was-
he does it all actually.
Yeah, so that is the inventor of the
man, so
element
funny.
carbon. So.
Because all these people that have these conversations, this carbon emission stuff, they like get to these conferences and they're like private jets, like piece of shit. God, I fucking hate hypocrites, man. We're living in the age of that too. It's kind of ridiculous.
I think we've always been at that age. It's
yeah,
just
that's true. It's just on a global scale, or it's like more on like it's like in our face.
But so yeah. Thank you for coming up
Agency,
here
yeah.
and saying that. So yeah, like it's just this idea of, those people that say, "Oh, this my family I have I have this or have that or this problem. I can't do it because of this. Well, it worked for you because you're different. It worked for you because of this. And they find these kind of ways to weasel
weasel their way into
to weasel out of their greatness. And there was a guy that I was talking to. I'm going to be working with him soon. And I asked him, I said, which excuse do you have that can justify you not fulfilling your purpose? Which one? Tell me which one justifies you not fulfilling your purpose. And he was just quiet for a second. I was like, I'm waiting. Tell me which one. He's like, well, none. I was like, exactly. There is not an excuse to justify not living your purpose. So stop pretending like there is and saying all this bullshit and trying to pretend like, oh, well, Rob, it's different for you because you work out a lot and you do this and that's you didn't have this weight to put up.
As if it wasn't you in the driver's seat for to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, dude, it's just like it's me who did this, it's you who's doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this idea of, and I just think it just touches on the concept of personal agency, of how much about the way the world is do you want to take accountability for?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I want to take accountability for everything.
Yeah.
And I want to figure out how it is. And
it's funny that you said, because I'm like, I also realize now, being in my early 30s, I'm like, I see how much of that stuff was conditioned. It's like learned thinking, like
other people's beliefs.
Yeah, and a lot of it for me, it's my family, because I'm Asian, and it's so crazy. I'm like, ever since I was younger, I was having high agency is just like, there's like My First Million podcast. They have this one guy a while ago talking about high agency. How much time do we have? 30 minutes?
How much time do we have?
Ray? Oh, wow.
Okay, so yeah.
Maybe we could close out. But I remember, they just had this conversation about high agency. And it's just like, if you have high agency, if you take responsibility for, as you said, the way that the world is, whatever's happening is happening. You got to do something about it, right? I realized, like, even in that podcast, the person that they were interviewing was not some like Cambridge, Harvard guy, just a regular schmuck, like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But he high agency individual. He's like, I'm gonna own the roadmap for this. I'm gonna make this feature. Like the person that made the DM feature on IG.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where there was no DMs on IG.
That's true.
So
it's literally just photos.
Right. So if you had to be in that board meeting, like, hey, guys, I have this idea. We're gonna allow direct messaging, but the people are gonna be like, oh, but there's no comments for people to see. How are they gonna have this conversation? How are we gonna grow this platform? It's like, I think it's gonna work because it's gonna grow the intimate relationship from user A to user B. Somebody has to own that outcome. So that person's a high agency individual. And obviously that person's probably doing really well right now, right? But if you are a high agency individual, you're going to take responsibility for all that stuff, whether it's good or bad, like to your point. If the weather fails or whatever, you're failing at this cosmic level, but at least you're shooting for that,
Have you ever read the book Traction by Gino Wickman?
Never even heard of it.
Dude, it's such a good book. It talks about agency. You just described something that talks about in that book. And they do something called the EOS, entrepreneurial system, where it just talks about breaking down goals and assignment of goals. And so when you have a company, it's not, hey, us three, we're going to form this company and then we're just going to make it work and we'll figure it out. It's about, okay, you take that and then you go, okay, what needs to be done? Mm-hmm. And then who's responsible for that task? And it has to be one person.
Yeah, it's a racy. Yeah, it's like one person's responsible for this. Yeah.
Yes, so that way when it's going wrong or it's not going right, this guy's this is guy who we're talking to about, and if it is going right, this is guy who we're applauding, and it's just to get rid of this ambiguity and this kind of shadow stuff,
Awesome.
But yeah, I know that we're running out of time here, so I kind of want to wrap this up, or we're probably over time, but yeah, this is I guess the second podcast I've done for the DC 100 podcast.
Okay, great.
And I want to do these every week, if not more often. So I definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah,
coming here and hopping on. Just
absolutely.
Helping me do this, and so I'm not just talking at a wall or something.
Which I feel like I had listened to this guy talking to a wall too. I mean, I feel like I've had before. But I think in general, having good conversations, people will always make fun of like podcasters for being around, or
Yeah,
guys have
yeah, absolutely.
you know, like tax podcast tools for guys. There's always going to be a need for good information, good conversation. If you're some schmuck like one of these live streamers or one of these other guys, sure, like, but they have an audience because there's a lot of low agency people out there that are allowing other people to just talk to them. But there's always going to be a need for good conversation and good information, you know, regardless of political spectrum or gender spectrum. Like, you know, guy, woman, who cares? I'm sure you'll have a cool woman here, you know, soon too. Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to all your stuff, man.
Yeah, bro, I appreciate you, bro. You'll be involved a lot more in different things. So,
absolutely.
Well, hey guys, this is the end of this first episode. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Still figured out where I'm going to post all this stuff at. I just know I need to get it.
Let's go.
It most likely will probably on Spotify, maybe also on YouTube. I'll probably edit it and put some stuff on it.
Clips up.
Get some clips and stuff of that, all that good old jazz. And hey, and we'll go from there. So again, hey, stay out there, stay strong. And I don't know, I'll come up with some slogans to add in. So insert very memorable slogan here, and then just
just talk over it. Use some AI voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna use AI.
There you go, and then just
and then it ends.
Perfect, awesome.
All right, perfect, man. Okay, thank you. I keep forgetting Ray. I want to call him Rich.
Rich.
I don't know why.
Man's rich.
Maybe he's just giving me rich energy.
Rich energy. There you go.